Hey guys, Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. You know, there's an old saying, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Right now, I am underneath a house that was built in 1820. At that time, there was only 21 states in the Union. The known world ended not far from here, and I'm in Waynesboro, Virginia. This is underneath that house, and this house was actually slated to be torn down by the city of Waynesboro, who used to own it. And you're looking at the original foundation and everything else and under the crawl space.
It's cool down here.
Yeah, it's real cool down in here. I started a online petition because I didn't want to see something so old torn away. Hence, you know me, I'm old and don't want to be torn away either. And sometimes they say, be careful what you wish for because you might just get it. Next thing I knew, I owned this place. And originally I had somebody who was going to help finance to get this thing rebuilt, but that fell through the wayside. So now, 2 years later, I'm working on figuring out how to do it piecemeal. And I want to get back here, and in fact, I'm getting the measurements to get the architectural plans done. But what I want you to look at is, and I don't know if you can see this very well because of the way I've got the camera, but I have to use the light up here. This is the floor joists. These are trees that were cut from here 200 years ago that are holding up the floor. This is antique heart pine flooring that's up here. 200 years old. These bricks made behind the building 200 plus years ago. When they made this was the school for Augusta County. We've since found out that this is the third oldest masonry school in the state of Virginia. So like I said, be careful what you wish for, because it's my thing to have to rebuild this. So the problem is when they did construction back in the day, they just made pockets for those logs to go in there. And some of them are worse shaped than others. So I've got to get a structural engineer to basically design how we're going to redo this, because I want to keep these in place. But what we're going to do is we're going to build a mast right here and another one on the other side, and end up putting new joists in between. So that way we're able to actually keep the original logs that are in here. Now, what somebody had done some time ago is originally the flooring stopped here, but they dug this out to make this a cellar and a workshop. And so that's where we're dealing with this. This was a temporary support that we ended up putting in just to keep that from going. And that's one of the many fireplaces. So what you're going to be seeing from me is we're going to be over here doing some work on this bit by bit, trying to save it, as I have a few dollars here and a few dollars there to work on it. But 200 years. Look at this. Isn't that amazing? Lime mortar. And when you're working on something like this, you actually have to do it a little bit differently, because you have to take in consideration on how it was built and how to preserve it. You can't just use regular mortar on this, because if you do, it's kind of like having a splinter. Your body will reject it and kick it out. And we've gone through at least to shore it up, but now's the time to actually start rebuilding. So we'll have to put temporary jacks up in here underneath each of these, run new floor joisting system underneath of it, put that mask all the way in with LVLs, and that'll be able to support the load. So that's the project. And actually, here, I tell you what, let me show you the exterior of the house while we're here walking through time. Ooh, it's light outside. So that's the red bricks on here. We actually went through and we fixed the bricks that are right there, and took that. We took care of all the stuff that was loose and falling apart, and we tore off the old porch. Actually, I got to take some pictures down there before I'm done. We've gone through. I've actually repaired the windows that were original, so that way those are in working order. And some of the wood that was under the house, I used to make the front door. Hopefully this is the right key. Yep, that's the right key. Michael Anthony Fitness, well, he's gone through and gutted it out. And as you can see, these are the floors that we found. Antique heart pine. And these are, wow, it's cool in here. The original walls that were plastered up. What we'll do is, because this is so old, is we'll loosen up all of this and we'll make that same lime mortar and smooth all this out. And here is my big bugaboo, which I don't want to walk on right now, is the foundation main beam down there actually rotted out. And what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to support this roof line temporarily, and we're going to have to replace it, of course, and take out this wall and basically build a new wall right there. So we'll actually go through and lay cinder blocks, dig a foundation in there, and go from that point. And then we'll go through room by room and kind of restore it. Unfortunately for me, what I originally wanted to do was I wanted to hold on to this and make it like an Airbnb, but unfortunately I'll need the money once I get finished working on this, and I'll have to sell it. But you can see the old bathtub, claw and foot that's in there. We're going to restore that and put it back in there, make this a really nice bathroom again. What I was going to do was this was going to become a bedroom. This again, the kitchen again, make it really nice. And this again, part of the closet that was off of the bathroom. And there's the ladder jacks. I was wondering where those were. Let's go upstairs and take a look real quick. These steps. This is what I absolutely positively love. We took out the walls that were in here and those beams and all this brickwork that was done so long ago. 200 years. And that's older than me. I wish I could have gotten out here sooner, but money is the key to end all your woes. And see, this is like, I rebuilt these window sills. Yeah, that's where I think somebody's been in here. So that they work again. I used as much of the original wood as possible and had to make some to fit and match it. But once we opened this up, it was the first time in about 15 years that daylight actually came through here. And what I actually was gonna do, or I'm gonna do, is put beadboard above the rafters so you can see these beautiful timbers that are up there. And then in here, this was gonna be another bedroom and bathroom. And the original plan was this would be like an Airbnb, so people who used to live here could come in, see the place, and spend the night in here. And you can see this was put on in the early 1900s, but this is the original brickwork that was handmade brick 200 years ago. Look at the detail that's on there, and each one of those handmade. So this has been for me bittersweet, because I'm glad I was able to save it and keep it from being torn down. But now the hard part is figuring out how to actually get it done. One other thing I think is really kind of cool too is when you look at stuff like this old fireplace. Oh, that looks like it's actually a little loose. You're never going to have fires in these again because the chimneys are too shallow. But having that kind of a detail that's in there, and to think that kids 200 years ago came here to go to school. They got their education in here. Of course, before Walmart was there. So, I'm Mark Holmes, And in the coming weeks, you'll see me and
Mike Clancy Fitness.
we'll be over here beginning to put this back together, hopefully. Hopefully. I'll see you guys soon.